7th grade, lesson 105. This one is on surface area of a right solid, surface area of a sphere, and then more on roots. Okay? Now, first thing I want to show you is go ahead and draw this on your paper. And the best way to do this is to draw a rectangle and then draw another rectangle off to the side a little bit. And then you connect the top to the top right to the top right, top bottom, or the bottom right. And there you go. You have an image. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to put lines through all that way you can tell. Those are the ones you can't really see, but enable you to see a 3D object. Okay? Got it? Mm-hmm. All right. Now that you have that, whenever we're talking about surface area, up to this point, when we've talked about the word area, for example, when you find area of something, you look, if I'm finding the area of something, I would be finding, for example, length times width. So the area of this rectangle would be 54 meters squared, for example. Okay? But now we're talking about surface area. And what surface area means is you're going to find the area of every surface. So for an example, let's take this 3D object. Okay? See what I've got? And we're going to find the surface area, which means we're going to find the top rectangle, the area of it. We're going to find the bottom rectangle, the area of it. We're also going to find the side, look right here, side rectangle, plus the side rectangle, plus the front rectangle, plus the back rectangle. We're finding the area of every surface. Okay? So how many surfaces does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be finding 6 areas and then adding them all up, which gives you the surface area. Got it? Okay, so now let's take this picture that they've got here, and we're going to find the surface area of this. Okay? So they tell me that this is 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, and 6 centimeters. Okay? So let's go on and say what this is. I'm going to go on and show that I'm going to have a front. You see that's my front, my back. So I'm going to say front. This is what you want to do when you're working on these, okay? You're going to say front, back, side, side. So left side, right side. Okay, and then what else we got left? Top and bottom. Top, bottom. Okay, now the next thing you want to say to yourself is to look at this and go, what shapes are all these? They're all rectangles. So I'm going to put R for rectangle. Sometimes you're going to have triangles and different things, parts of it, okay? So that R means rectangle. Now, for my front rectangle, this one right here, actually let's do a different color with that. Okay, so I'm going to take a red marker, and because we're doing the front, I'm going to show you the front. Okay? So, what are my front measurements? Well, I know that my length is 6, but what is this? Well, remember you always look at a parallel line. So this and this. These are parallel. So if this is 3, then this is 3. So 6 times 3 is 18 centimeters squared. Or we do in centimeters? Yes, we are. Okay? So the front is that. Do you think the back will be same? Yes, because this is 6, so this will be 6. So this back will also be 18 centimeters squared. See that? All right, what about the side? Let's do a side. Let's do the right side just because the numbers are here. Here, 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 and here. That's my right side. So 5 times 3 is going to be 15 centimeters squared. With me? And then the left side is going to be 15 centimeters squared. Actually, those are right. Okay. Now the top rectangle, which is this one, Okay? What are my measurements going to be? Well, if this is 6 centimeters, then this will be 6 centimeters. And this, remember, always do parallel lines. If this is 5, this is going to be 5. Okay? So the top is going to be 6 times 5. See how I got those numbers? 5, 5, they parallel. 6, 6, they parallel. So 6 times 5 is 30 centimeters squared. And then the bottom will be the same, 30 centimeters squared. Now that I've got all of those, I add it up. 60 plus 30 makes 90. And then 90 and 18 make 126. So, final answer, 126, and then because its area is centimeters squared. Got it? That's how we would do that. Feel like you understand it? Alright, let's do one that's a little bit more complicated. Not really complicated because it's more complicated, but complicated because it's a different figure that has lots of different ones. Okay, so here we go. Draw this one on your paper. Okay. Alright, draw those two triangles and then connect them. There we go, I did a little bit better job on that one. A little bit better job. Okay, now, here's what they tell me. 4, 3, 6, and 5. Okay, got all those? Go and write those in so we can get going.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alright, so help me figure out the surfaces. They tell me to find the surface area of this triangular prism. Alright, so label some of the surfaces for me.
What do you mean?
What kind of surfaces do we have?
The bottom, the side, the two faces.
Okay, so let's talk about the faces. So let's do the front triangle. So I'm going to put FR triangle. And then I'm going to put the back B triangle. Okay, what else we got?
The bottom.
The bottom, what kind of shape is that?
A square.
Square or rectangle? So bottom rectangle. Alright. And then we've got, I guess this could have been the left side and right side triangle because this is going to be the front and then that piece is going to be the back. You want to do that? So I'm going to put instead of FR and B, I'm going to put left triangle and right triangle. Alright, and then I'm going to put front rectangle and back rectangle. And this one's bottom rectangle. Okay? So I've got left triangle, right triangle, bottom rectangle, front rectangle, and back rectangle. Alright, now, let's try to find, the first thing I want you to realize is that because this is a triangle, when you find the area of a triangle, what do you do? What's the formula? Base times height?
Base times height times width?
Divided by 2. And this is very key.
I was thinking of volume.
Yeah, you're right. No. But we're doing area. Okay? So a triangle is the base times height, but you don't ever want to forget this divided by 2 part. So many people forget that part. So this triangle is also going to be base times height divided by 2. And then these rectangles are not divided by 2. It's just base times height or length times width. Length times width, length times width. And you may even want to write your formulas just like that so you'll remember, oh, I'm doing a triangle. I need to make sure I'm doing base times height divided by 2. Okay, so let's take this triangle, the left triangle, and it's going to be base times height divided by 2. Base times height. Okay, 4 times 3, which is 12, divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So our left triangle is 6, and then I think we're doing centimeters, yeah, centimeters squared. Okay, is my right triangle going to be the same? Yes, because 3, 3, 4, 4. They're parallel. So it's going to be the same answer, 6 centimeters squared. With me? Alright, what about this bottom rectangle? What are my numbers going to be?
What do you mean?
The bottom rectangle.
Oh, length times height.
Length times width. So what are my numbers?
3 and 6.
3 times 6. 18 centimeters squared. I did not have to divide it by 2 because it's not a triangle. Okay? Alright, what about my front rectangle? This one right here.
I think it's 5
5 is the
and
height.
6.
And 6. Yes. 30 centimeters squared. What about the back? It's going to be different.
4
and
and 6.
6. Very good, because 6 is here, 6 is here. So 4 times 6, 24 centimeters squared. And when you add up all those together, you get 84 centimeters squared. Final answer. Feel like you understand it? All right. Now that you've learned 2 types of them, this next one is the hardest. Not because it is the hardest, but because it looks the hardest. So, for example, draw that. A soup can. Okay? Soup. Okay? Now, then they tell me this. 10 centimeters. 7 centimeters. So they're basically going from here to here it's 7, from here to here it's 10. Alright, you got all that written down? Alright, so what are my surface areas on this one? We have a top circle. We have a bottom circle, but what's in the middle? And that's what I'm going to show you with this. We've got a top circle. We have a bottom circle. Now check this out. Maybe. Here we go. What is the middle part?
Square.
A rectangle. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so stay with me. This is our rectangle, okay? This is what they call lateral, okay? That's what they call it, is lateral. Just so you know, lateral area. So I'm going to put this rectangle, okay? Got it? Those are our 3 sections that we need to know.
Okay.
All right, what is my circle formula for area? Do you remember? Pi r squared. Remember, that's the very first thing I want you to write when you're doing this. Bottom circle, pi r squared. Rectangle, length times width. That's good that I wrote those. Now I just have to put the numbers in. Okay, so let's go on and do these 2 because they're the easiest. And we'll talk about the rectangle in a minute. Okay, now, the top circle is pi r radius squared. So what is my radius?
7 centimeters.
Well, that's my diameter. So my radius is half of that. So 3.5, right? Okay, but it's radius squared. So 3.5 squared times pi, since that's my pi. So let me see. They tell me on this one, let's see if that's what they said. Yeah. Okay, so we're just doing that. So if you've got your calculator, do you happen to have yours? If you don't, it's okay. I'll just do it with mine real quick. So basically, 3.5 squared, let's see, 3 times 3 will be 9 or 10 something. Can you do that for me real quick?
What?
3.5 times 3.5. What'd you get?
12.25.
12.25, and then times that by 3.14. Times 3.14. And that
38.465.
38.46. Okay, so I'll just put 38.5, just as a rounding about. Okay, so 38.5, and this is in centimeters, I believe. Yes, centimeters squared. So if that's the top, is the bottom going to be the same?
Yes.
Yes. So this one equals 38.5 centimeters squared as well. All right, but this rectangle, how do I, so for example, this middle piece I'm going to show you, that's our middle piece. How tall is our middle piece?
10 centimeters.
10. The next thing we have to figure out is from here to here. And it's a circled shape.
So
It
it's
has-
just gonna be 38.5.
Almost. Stay with me. What is the distance around a circle called? Circumference. So, if the circumference is the distance around, when I extend it, is it the same distance?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have to find the circumference of this circle. This top circle or bottom, whichever. So, how do I...
The diameter is 7 centimeters.
That's good to know. So, circumference, the formula is pi
R
d.
squared.
No, that's the area.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. That's okay. So the circumference is pi d, pi times d. So pi is 3.14. Now they tell me to use 22 over 7 on this one for pi. Okay. So 22 over 7. Okay? Now, and the diameter is what?
7.
7. So times 7. 7 over 1 is the same thing. Alright, you see what we did? So, I can cross out the 7s. That's probably why they wanted me to use that. See that? So then C equals 22. That's the circumference. Now that's not our final answer. That's just the distance around this.
So now it's 10 times that.
Yep. So 22 is that piece. And then 22 times 10 is 220. And 220 plus this equals 297 centimeters squared. Because we're working with area. Feel like you got it?
Yep.
That's pretty cool to be able to look at it like that, isn't it? Okay, not done yet. So, surface area. And this is the last portion of this on this lesson. Okay, now, the next one you're going to learn is a sphere. A basketball. So I'm going to try to attempt, oh well boy. Okay, let's just pretend that looks like a great basketball. Okay? Now, what you need to know, if I was going to find the surface area, which means the area that surrounds the surface of a basketball. Well, how do you do that? Well, the only thing I do know is what shape is in the middle of a basketball. Or what shape best represents the basketball? A circle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I do know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. So, that kind of helps me, but let me tell you this, is that a sphere, the surface area around it, is 4 times whatever the area of the circle is. So, guess what you do? 4 times that. Alright, so, let's look at this one together. Alright, they tell me that my radius is 3 centimeters. So from the center of the basketball to the edge of the basketball is 3 centimeters. Okay, well what is going to be the surface area? Well, it's 4 times the area of the circle. So, the area of the circle is pi, my r is 3 squared. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times pi is, do you have the answer? 9 times 3 can you do that for me? 3.14 times 9?
28.26.
28.26. So area equals 28.26. But that's just the area of a circle. What did I tell you the surface area of a sphere is? It's 4 times that. So 4 times that is what?
113.04.
Very good. 113.04 centimeters squared, or whatever it is, if it's meters or whatever. Okay? Final answer for a sphere. Alright, now, I think they need to be done with this lesson, but they totally, the next lesson is like literally 3 minutes long. I think they should have combined this next part with that lesson, but they didn't. So I'm going to go on and teach on this part, on this lesson, okay? Do you need to take a break? Stop for a second. Okay, this next part is on roots, not tree roots, math roots, okay? Now, we're talking about the perfect square, 25. So if I were to ask you, what is the answer to that, what would you tell me?
What?
If I were to ask you,
Square root is 5.
square root of 25, yep, and so the answer would be 5. Okay, now, if 5 times 5 equals 25, does that equal 25 as well?
Yes.
Yes, because two negatives, which are even amount of negatives, still gives you a positive answer. Okay, so this equation, x squared equals 25, what could our x be? Our x could be 5, because 5 squared is 25, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could our x be negative 5? Negative 5 times negative 5,
Yeah.
would that equal 25?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so guess what our x answer is? 5 and negative 5. Okay, it's not just 5, it's also negative 5. Okay, you feel like you got that? Alright, now, let's talk about something a little bit different, and this might get a little bit confusing, but I want you to stay with me. Okay? The square root of 5, do we know an answer for that? No. Okay? And so the opposite of this would be negative square root of 5, like that. The negative is on the outside. Okay? The only way the negative can be on the inside is this right here. Now, I don't know if I've taught you this yet. Have I taught you what that means? Okay. So when there's nothing in this corner, it means basically 2. So, for example, let me stay with me for a second. When that says square root of 25, what would you tell me the answer is?
5.
5. So basically you're saying what times what, two of them equal 25. So guess what this means? What times what times what? There's 3 of them. Okay, so stay with me. I know that 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. So the answer is going to be 3. 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. But I want it to be a negative 27. What do I need to do?
Negative 3 times 3 times 3.
It's going to be negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3.
No, because then that'd be positive.
No, because there's an
Oh,
odd.
yeah.
Okay? There's an odd number of negatives, which means the answer is negative. Now, because this is square root, you can't make this one negative 3, this one positive 3, and this one negative 3. They all 3 have to be negative 3, or they all 3 have to be positive 3. You can't have negative, positive, negative. Because you're choosing, what this essentially means is what same number. Okay? So, that's the only reason a negative should be inside this kind of thing.
Okay.
Got it? Every other time, it's going to be on the outside. Because we don't know what times what equals that. So therefore, the negative is on the outside. Okay, let's do a few more. All right, ready? So, what does that mean? First of all, tell me what this part means. This
Oh, yeah, that's
With
the
the
square
root.
root.
means, One.
What times what times what?
yes, because there's 3 of them. And when they don't have 1, what do we assume is there in that spot? What do we assume is there? A 2.
Yeah.
Because even though it's not written there, that's actually what you're doing, is what times what.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, but this one actually has a 3. So what times what equals 1,000? 10. Because these are easy, because watch this. There are 1, 2, 3 zeros, and guess what? There are 1, 2, 3 zeros. Pretty cool. So if this was 10,000, alright, then what would you do? You would have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Isn't that cool? And they would have a 4 right there. Okay? Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You feel like you understand that pretty good?
Yeah.
Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's, oh. Yeah. Okay, that is lesson 105.